going on, dude? What's that? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm working for the New York Times for a while, so I kind of had to clean up a little bit.
Shave the pubes,
yeah.
Wear pants.
Wax the ass crack, you know. Say what?
You were drunk, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Damn pink.
Hi, I'm Qui-Gon. This is PJ. We're both senior members of the Hacker Pimps. And our talk today is on the interesting issues we've had playing around with the ReactOS over the last 6 months. Anyway, that's their logo. So what is ReactOS? It's an open source reverse engineer of the Windows NT system, pretty much. Basically, what they've done is, from the kernel on up, have designed their own operating system based on a clean room reverse engineer of NT and 2K. It's currently very much in an alpha state, as we're about to show you. System requirements. First of all, they actually recommend that you run it in a virtual machine because that's the way they're developing it right now. But if you want to try it on its own box, yeah.
It's never worked.
And we're getting into that too. Pentium 200 or better, 32 megs of RAM, 2 meg VGA or 4 meg SVGA, 150 megs of hard drive space, and a CD-ROM. Pretty simple. The good parts about it are it's got a very small footprint. You can download the install CD, and it's 20 meg zipped. A full install is about 40 megs, so it's not quite as bloated as some of the other operating systems that we have to deal with. It's a potential Windows 2K XP replacement. Not right now, but and it does load quick, but you kind of need it to load quick. You'll see, and we'll get into that too.
All right. Yeah, you've probably heard us bitching about it all this weekend, well, at least since yesterday, and drunk ranting about it. Very obviously, it's alpha. If anybody wants to download copies and do bug reports and report back to them so that way we can quit fucking with this horrible operating system, please help. It seems to not want to install on any systems, whether it's a VM or a physical computer. Next slide. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. It's exactly like Windows. It actually has like win32.sys. It has io.sys. I mean, it has explorer.exe, which also fucking crashes. All right. So on the basic installation, when you're partitioning the drives, sometimes it'll go through, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll crash at like 7% copying the files. Sometimes it'll just sit there and look like it's copying, and the copy up to 100%, and then 150, and then the farthest I can go is 1700%. And I said, "Fuck this," and I went home.
The thing is, the results are never consistent either. Never.
I have one install that always crashes at 7% on the copy. It's the only consistency so far, and that's their current version. So, yeah. Hey, they're getting better because the previous version crashed at 4%. Let's see. Also, another thing with the VM installs, it doesn't always install the bootloader. It uses freeloader, which is very efficient whenever it works. But half the time, it won't load it, and you'll just get partition not found, or like ntloader.sys missing.
Which we actually saw both of those errors while we were writing these slides this morning.
Yeah. Same thing as the VM. It always fails, except for if you're actually trying to install it on a physical PC. You'll get all kinds of different crash screens that I've never seen before. Sometimes the CD won't even boot up. Sometimes it'll start to boot and just give you this blue screen that just sits there for like an hour and a half, and then it'll actually do something, and then crash at the next screen. Let's see. There's no USB support. Even if you try to do legacy support with older systems, it doesn't work. So your best bet is a PS2. Like, just go to the flea market and buy it like $233. Let's see. It doesn't read anything bigger than I think a 20 gig hard drive. I just for kicks tried a 250. It read it as a 4 gig. Just I know. And of course the bootloader fails, or it'll start to boot up after it finally loads a bootloader, or you manually boot it off of a diskette, and then it crashes. I tried it on a couple systems. Yeah, like everything I could possibly get my hands on. I got kicked out of Best Buy a couple times for going in with install CDs and just trying shit. So, also got kicked out of a GameStop because I went behind the counter and started trying with the PS3. It actually started to install. It was looking like it was going to go, and then when it restarted, it killed the system.
Oops.
So I tried it on a modded Xbox, which is a 733 Celeron with 64 megs of RAM. It started to load on there. It actually got up to the point of detecting the hardware, and of course took a shit. All these systems, I've actually tried 0.2.8, 0.2.9, 0.3.0, 0.3.1. I couldn't find a 0.3.2, which was odd, and a 0.3.3, and there's a current SVN, which we didn't mention on here because, well, it also doesn't work, of 0.4.0, which it actually seems like it's getting a little bit better because you can plug in a USB keyboard and press spacebar to boot off of the CD, and then it loses the support. Can you tell I hate this? All right. Eventually. All right.
It would have to make up for the headaches it's given us over the last 6 months.
You read some. I don't want to bitch anymore.
All right. Install reliably fails on Parallels, VMware Workstation, QEMU, Fusion, Virtual PC. PG actually tried 3 of these. I did QEMU and VMware Workstation. So far, the best one that we found for running this thing is VMware Fusion.
Thank you, Nate, for the serial number.
If you actually get the thing loaded, the first thing it does is it realizes that it's in VMware and says, hey, do you want to install the VMware tools? Don't. Please don't.
This is the last time you'll ever see that install work.
Yeah. And I hope you like 640 by 480. You're going to get used to it.
There we go. Okay. What the fuck did you do?
What?
Oh, you blue screened it.
Shit.
Yay. Nah, it's fine.
Yeah, blue screen my Linux box. How cool is that?
Fucking cable. Come on. Almost. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so the only system that we've ever got it to actually pick up networking is VMware Fusion, and it emulates an AMD network card. If you install it on any of the VMware systems, it tries to look for SCSI drivers, VGA drivers, and network drivers, and sound drivers, of course, because those are all useful. It never works. If you want to browse for a CD or browse for a file, you click Browse. You just have this white box that has an OK button at the bottom. There's nothing else in it. So
you can try. It's basically a full supposed to.
Windows 95.
Yeah.
It has a very nice wallpaper when you get it to boot. Along with blue screens of death, you also get a red screen of death. Sometimes it's pinstriped, sometimes it's not. That usually comes with video drivers that you attempt to load, and a green screen of death. I don't even know what the hell it means, but it's green, and it has all kinds of error messages across it saying that, like, the SCSI driver failed, but sometimes we boot it up with IDE instead, trying to get around that. Well, it'll still detect hardware that's not even there. Alright, of course, it makes Windows ME look good. They're both about as stable. They'll both run for about as long before just panicking out of nowhere. And they both have Explorer.exe errors. Oh, and they also have registry issues. So, like, if you could actually get, like, 2 drivers to load together, like a network driver and a VGA driver, which has only happened once, then Explorer crashes and you lose the whole damn system, and then when you try to restart it, it just gives you the blue screen, like, over and over and over and over again. So but it boots quickly. So you can get through all these things really fast.
And it loads quickly.
It takes about 30 seconds to actually do the install if you just do enter, 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 enter. So you'll see. All right, see, there are some good parts. It's open source. It's not Windows. We've been trying to load several things like ICA clients, different proprietary pieces of software that companies would use that they only have Windows systems for. So they haven't worked yet, but we can get the installers to start to load. Like if we try to install Firefox, it'll bring up the initial screen, and then you have the license agreement, and then you click next, and it goes away. ICA client, it pops up, it says Citrix program neighborhood. You click next, it goes away. I have actually got SeaMonkey to install. So that was rather impressive. I couldn't download it because if the initial iBrowser that comes with it has no download manager. You click download. Is it done? We don't know. You have to look at the file size and wait for it to stop changing, or the network crashed, and then you just don't know. But SeaMonkey actually was able to download after an hour and a half. One day it'll work. It likes VMware Fusion. It's a substitute for crack. And if all those old PCs that people have standing around with like two of them on end and a board across for a coffee table, you might be able to do something with it. And we have a picture of Kirstie Alley. I don't know why. It seemed like a good idea.
Dude, that was your idea, man.
Like I said, it seemed like a good idea. Just like it seemed like a good idea to talk about React.
All right. So, yeah, now you're going to see. All right. How many times PJ can cuss in 10 minutes? Bonuses for fuck, and we're taking bets right now.
Lightweight. Isn't church? Fuck, fuck, fuck. Yeah. Oh, I've heard it before.
Yeah, it's very flexible, kind of like Al.
Any ideas there, tech people? Oh, wait, that's everybody.
What the hell happened?
Okay. All right, first up, VMware Fusion. Another advantage with ReactOS is they actually have VMware images that you could download. They don't include the VMware tools or drivers along with it, so you're pretty much fucked as soon as you load it because it asks you for your drivers, and then it doesn't do anything. Anyways, I'm going to run through a base install right off the bat, so that way you can see all the crazy shit. Try and keep an eye on the bottom corner of the name of some of the files that it tries to copy up until it crashes. I mean, it looks just like Windows 95, Windows 2000 for the setup. Everything's exactly the same. Yeah. What? Instead of using the Windows path, thank God, it uses its own path, which whenever you try to install some applications, when you could finally get the damn things on the fucking system, it tries to look to the Windows path, so it will create it and then come with other problems. So, 7%.
And the red screen of death.
.exe. Just for shits. Maybe it'll let us, maybe it won't. Nah. hh.exe, a different
Basic.
file fucked up this time. But 7% yet again. Alright, let's try a pre-built one. See, boot selection, just like Windows. Little bar. Look at this fucking shit. Okay. CD-ROM.sys, NDIS.sys. See, this is the damn wallpaper. This is kind of makes you feel good. Kind of makes you feel happy. Yeah.
Oh, but it's free.
All right.
Headaches included.
Fucking Tylenol. All right, just a standard ICA client. It's actually the version for Windows 2000, so that way we don't have any of the XP compatibility issues. And, oh look, that one out. CMonkey installer. Oh wait, that's right, it didn't fucking download all the way. That's about all this one can do, is sit here and not do anything. Now, it has this neat little download tool. It doesn't work. It could, if the network worked, but... Oh, and what else? There was one other thing that kind of impressed us. It has solitaire. So.
Yes, it does, surprisingly enough.
Oh, Alt F4, regular things to close programs work too. Oh, and this build is the one that will shut down. The other ones, you click shut. Oh, and it also kind of locked up on the shutdown.
Which
doesn't matter because you turn the fucking thing off.
It also tends to give that black screen if you bring up a command prompt and type in ipconfig or pretty much anything. Yeah.
Yet another build that.
Yeah, anything in the command prompt where you interact with the networking stack at all kills it. Dead. No, in this case, it's the hell.
Hey, in this case, it actually took an IP address.
Oh, shit.
That's fucking awesome!
PJ, try pinging something.
No. Oh, and right off the bat, as soon as you get the stuff working and you try to run the basic browser that's built in, it wants you to download ActiveX controls. Which...
Yeah!
Also, the progress bar doesn't usually move until it reaches the completed point.
Again, just like Windows.
And as you can see, some of the windows have started to freeze up in the background. Windows. Fucking cancel button doesn't work. We did have more luck with those 2 Warp 4.5. Holy fuck.
Oh, wait. No, it'll finish.
Now it's making
it'll
us look
finish.
bad.
Oh, my God. We never get the command. We never get the prompt again. That's the first time.
And it still didn't finish downloading. Anything? So...
Smoking the reefer.
Alright. Yay, it won't cancel the goddamn... Fuck.
Okay, what was the number? 12?
I don't care anymore. Just... Oh, and this is the build that won't shut down, won't do anything except for... it'll get on the network.
Hang on a sec, PJ. A lot of the people that are working on the Wine project are also working on this. And they have daily builds, SVN builds. So, because they actually wanted a full-blown OS as opposed to just a compatibility layer. Wine would be better. Yes, yes. Pretty much. I've actually had a lot more luck with Wine than I have with ReactOS. Sorry?
Yeah. Was there anything really interesting with 2.9?
Not that I know of.
All right.
You're the only one that used it.
Yeah, this is true. Oh, wait, this is 3.0. Oh, that's right. This one also won't shut down.
It blue screens.
Yay. Let's try that log off one more time, see if we could read that message. Nope.
Somebody have a box with Telnet open?
The Telnet application isn't installed.
Oh, and the
that'll work.
Oh, and the FTP, the command line FTP client, you can actually log into a server and tell it to download something, and it'll download a 0-byte file every time. Ding.
Come on. Come on.
This is the full-blown
Wow, my
ReactOS
balls.
version.
Yeah, I was joking off that. My girlfriend plays way too much WoW. This fucker over here plays way too much AO.
Define way too much.
No.
There is no edit. I've tried.
Nope, that's calculator. Wait,
but
what's
it'll
five?
have the Intel floating point bug.
Regedit loads, you can make modifications, just sometimes if you try to add drivers or something, it tries to add the registry information, and it doesn't work. I'll do a full install on a system that should load. And we'll try to do a full install and see if we can get drivers to load. No. I sleep at my desk at work, so I don't have anything better to do than bitch about it. Oh, and it froze my mouse up on the actual system. Since 1997. Yeah. Let's try this one more time. Okay, 1996 through 2007.
Yeah, it'll be released in 2095.
And keep in mind, they're finally up to 4 or 0.4. Fuck. Give up. Try suicide. Try coke. Try buying an old muscle car and fixing it. And and
guess what?
I lost my input device option.
Yeah, I think this will be stable, and about the same time that Duke Nukem Forever will come out. It'll be a requirement.
I booted up the wrong one. Thank you.
I try to avoid it like the plague. My phone runs Symbian, so.
Yay. You know, I can't remember which build is which anymore. They all start to just piss me off.
Bleed in together. Here we go with the ActiveX control.
Yeah, no. Oh, and if you choose no, it just closes the program right off the bat. I'm going to switch over to Parallels and show you some of the fun in there. Oh, and this also won't shut down. But it does. That's the scary part.
Well, it works every now and then. Pretty much. Yes!
Woo! We'll be back in a moment. I don't know.
It's obviously possible. Yeah, and it's usually negative. Fuck.
Like all this morning we were trying to install this shit, and it wouldn't work. Every single time we tried to do anything, just open up like the Explorer, it would fucking crash. If we, I'll just continue showing you.
The original plan for us to do this was to actually get it loaded on a laptop with OpenOffice and actually do the presentation from ReactOS. You see how far we got.
Fucking. Great, fucking pinwheel.
How we doing time-wise?
Who cares? It's fucking pinwheel.
Okay. Yeah.
What the hell?
Well, if you
pinwheel can't do anything.
If you can get it to boot again or whatever, kick into the picture slide.
All right. We came up with this awesome idea to start this operating system.
Yeah, all the best coding stuff starts off with that. We were at a con and
somebody came up with this idea and we ran with it. And now you have two other assholes sitting up here trying to talk about it. And, we will say something good eventually when it happens.
If we can ever actually get to that point where we could do a presentation on ReactOS, we'll stop talking bad about it.
You can watch us play solitaire. We were a little drunk sitting around in a restaurant, and I was like, have you ever heard of ReactOS? Because my stupid fucking friend Joe was like, oh, this is so awesome. But he also thinks Windows MX RGB is awesome. It's in Polish.
Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah, you just have to slowly get it pieced back together. But from what I understand, they're about 60 to 65% through the kernel. Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is the same build that will die in VMware at 7%, but it works in Parallels, but it won't work on a desktop either. Yeah, it's useful. Yeah, the install took less than a minute. So After about 100 of them, I think I have wasted a good chunk of my life. And now it's optimizing again. There we go. It looks just like everything else with Windows 95, Windows 98, blah, blah, blah. Fuck this stuff. Oh, that previous screen, if we just let it sit there and wait for the bar to go across, it'll also cause a kernel panic. And I'll have to restart the computer. Come on, baby. Show them what you got. Look better than that bimbo with the blonde hair last night. Which is fine. Now,
No.
just for kicks, you never know, because the disk image for Parallels is already mounted, so it should look for the CD. How? Oh, also, if you ever bring up the task menu and click away from it, it won't go away. That's with every build. Unless I pick something from here. Anyways, all right, we have some slides of stuff that's actually worked in the past.
That's why we took screenshots.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Also, it apparently has blue screen on the shutdown. So. Fuck you. Just leave. No,
OS 10 Linux.
If you're going to use Windows, stick with XP. If you're going to do anything productive, just get a Mac, get a Linux box, whatever. Don't use Vista. Don't use React. Pretty basic. I'm using iPhoto for the slides, so if you see any porn, just... I didn't download it here because of the fucking proxy. So... Don't ask.
Exactly.
Hey, so, of course, you've already seen... Oh, great. Wrong button. So basic setup, of course, works. As you've already seen, all this stuff works. It supports 1 gig hard drives in FAT32 in VMware images, which is about the biggest that we can actually get before it starts freaking out. We tried a 32 gig partition just for kicks, and it said it was a 1.2 gig. So that worked out well. As I previously said, it installs to React, and if you notice at the top, it actually says that it's 0.4 SVN setup. This build is from about 2 days ago. It also doesn't work. Shit.
Dude! What? Sorry, Lady Merlin.
The reboot worked. The reboot started to work. You'll see a bunch of familiar sys files all throughout the system. SCSI-port, bus logic, which doesn't work. ATA Pi doesn't work. And then this happens.
Sorry?
Yeah, we've tried with as little as 64 megs of memory. I tried it with 12 and it wouldn't install. So I've tried it with 2 gigs of memory. I've tried it on a 3 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo with 4 gigs of RAM. It didn't know what to do. It took like 30 seconds to install and reboot and reload, and then ask for drivers. So here's a more efficient thing than ReactOS. So, and I never really noticed this, but her shirt says "cuck dong." So neat. Here's another fun part of the setup. And after about 4 restarts, it actually it booted and it got to desktop, and we couldn't get online.
What the hell is that error message?
What? Error adapter info. ncpa.cpl.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, in VMware Fusion, it actually emulates an AMD NIC card. Yeah. Yeah, the control panel doesn't work either. Oh, fuck. Network connections, you could never really get into the details about them because you get this other fun error. Another more efficient thing than ReactOS. Proof that the command line works. Up until this morning, we actually didn't have a build that the command line would open up properly. And let's see, a basic installer that's from Parallels to try or from VMware to add the drivers. We get this error if it will actually acknowledge the installer. And you can never run just a .msi installer since they never appear to work. Well,
that's because normally we get to that point, that thing crashes, and whatever screen we had, gone.
Honestly, I just sat there with screen grab, like waiting for something to work, and then taking a picture. And if it started to buffer through, like when it was copying files that it actually worked, and it got more than 7%, it was like, fucking grab it. And here we are. Yeah. Hey, it looks just like the Windows System Property Information screen. And that's pretty much our opinion, and we came across that while trying to get out too. We were looking for a picture of a chick sucking a donkey's balls, but we couldn't really find that in time. So instead we have Stimpy with wood spooge on his ass. Alright. Anything else? I've kind of ranted a bit.
I guess the rest of the slides.
Back over to this kind young lady.
Fish.
Oh? No, we're sleeping in the same room either way.
All right, so we can either do questions, or I can actually show you some of the installs from QEMU and VMware Workstation. It's up to you guys.
You probably won't be surprised.
Their timeline for a beta is actually next year. The 0.4, the current SVN, when it goes to 0.4.1, that's supposed to be the beta.
Just like Windows.
Yes. It's actually to have their own working Windows-capable open source operating system. Yeah. Better than me. Well, the thing is, I mean, we, especially the hacker community, could definitely benefit from this project. So that's why we both say that, okay, yeah, it's a buggy piece of shit right now, but go out, download it, play with it, report bugs. Seriously. Because if they do end up with a viable Windows alternative, that'd be really nice.
Do they report bugs to the website?
Yeah. They have a full wiki. So, question in the back? Okay. No, I guess we're done.
No one really cares about this piece of shit? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise?
We've never...
Are you trying it on a regular system or on a specific VMware? VMware for...
Fusion, Workstation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, we have never actually gotten it above 640 by 480, ever.
I win.
What?
In VMware Fusion, nothing else would load, but I manually put like all the drivers, the sys files, the INFs, told it to, like, went to the registry, pointed everything in the right direction, and it got up to 800 by 600, and it actually tried to go to my full screen size of 1440 by 900, and that's about the most efficient I was able to do, except once I restarted, then blue screen, and you can't really get into a safe mode or pull anything out of there. But I honestly, I recommend just maybe seeing if you could forge the different video drivers in there, trying alternative virtual machines. The basic NTVGA driver will give you up to 800 by 600. I've read about that. I've never got it to work.
I wish you luck. Actually, if you do get it to work, email us, and you can contact us on this website. Email us and let us know.
Honestly, I'm not going to touch this anymore after today, but I would love to hear if other people made progress. Anybody else want to questions? Make fun of us? Say it's a horrible piece of shit? Copy paste, Alt Tab, Alt F4. No. Like, if you want to do the actual taskbar, you have to do Control Escape. I've tried it on PCs too, and I've tried plugging a Windows keyboard into here. Windows key and break brings up the Windows key plus break. Doesn't that bring up the system properties? Doesn't in here. Yeah, no, it just doesn't do anything. It's like, what the fuck is this? And it ignores you. You can do Alt Tab. Yeah, you can do Alt Tab, things like that.
Yes, about the task manager itself.
Never seen it load. I've done Control Delete. It's just like pressing the Windows key. Like I said, the basic keys like copy paste, things like.
What is the 16 file of shit coding?
I think C.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you were saying though, with the hotkeys and things, stuff like copy paste, cut, Control Z to go back, things that you would use in like basic document editing do work, which is kind of promising for it, because if you could load up in a bunch of offices with a version of React that actually works stably, and put like OpenOffice and Game and other things on there that offices could use, like everything open source, no Windows, then you could of course save people a bunch of money. I don't think spyware works with it yet either, because it doesn't have a lot of support. And I don't know, that might be something worth testing. Then again, spyware probably wouldn't care, and there's no Internet Explorer, so you're a little bit better off.
All right, we're done, guys. Thank you.
Yay! Fucking ReactOS.